things first, Happy New Year to all of those you watching this. Today we have a solar build because I only have one other solar build and uses Caliban's and not the most busted exotic in the game, Assassin's Cowl. So we'll start with the subclass. We are using Blade Barrage because it's still good DPS. Gambler's Dodge so that we can get our knife back if we end up missing one. I use Knife Trick. It's probably the best knife you can use. Healing Grenades for survivability. Then I'm using Knock Him Down and Gunpowder Gamble. I just love Gunpowder Gamble and it lets you have an actual damaging grenade since we're using healing grenades. Knock Him Down is just the best aspect available for hunters. And it lets you have infinite melees essentially. So and then that gives us only 3 fragments. I'm using Ember of Torches so that we can get Radiant by just using our melee, and that way if we get a kill we get it back because of knock him down. I chose Ember of Solace just because I didn't want to take a hit to Resilience by using Ember of Empyrean, and it's been working out fine. And lastly, Ember of Singeing so that I get class ability energy just by scorching targets, which helps me, be able to use Gambler's Dodge to get my knife back in case I miss. That's essentially it. If you don't know, Assassin's Cowl is probably the best exotic you can use if you're not on Void, because it lets you go invisible and heal on melee kills or finishers. So if a build that uses mainly, your melee, you're going to be going invisible and healing all the time. So very good for endgame content and things like that. Well of Life is my mod of choice here, so that we get healing from picking up solar wells. Here I just have Elemental Charge, and I'm using Striking Light. Striking Light, if you have an arc mod in the same piece of gear, you get damage resistance while sprinting, which is nice, helps with survivability, but the base effect is that you spawn orbs on melee kills if you're charged with light, but only for allies. So if you're playing solo, that doesn't count for you. It does not spawn orbs for yourself if you're alone. So if you're gonna play solo, you can replace this you have options. You can use Font of Wisdom if you want your super faster, Font of Might if you wanna, try to do something with solar weapons, or even another melee well maker mod so that you spawn more wells each time you get a melee kill. Yeah, there's a lot of options here. And the gauntlets you can use solar is probably your best bet, so you can use Impact Induction, because then you will be reducing your grenade cooldown, and then you can use your healing grenade more often and heal more. So you get it. Then here I have melee well maker, pretty obvious, and bountiful wells. So that way I get 2 wells each time I get a kill instead of 1. And if you're not using Weaken Clear this season, you probably should, because it's way good. And Bomber just to help me get grenades. And that's essentially it. The only thing you need to really do in this build is use your melee to get kills, to heal and go invisible. That's basically it. If you miss, use your dodge, get the melee back, and keep going. And that is essentially all there is to it. And it's pretty decent in endgame content because of the healing that you get from Assassin's Cowl, the healing you get from Well of Life, and having your healing grenade as well, all contributing to your survivability, and Striking Light obviously for the damage resistance. Something else you can do, I just realized, you can have Reaping Wallmaker and Well of Tenacity here, so you can dodge, get a weapon kill, and then get damage resist that way, if that's what you would like to do instead. I will include some gameplay of this build. I enjoy it. I'm not a huge fan of solar, but I enjoyed this build quite a bit. So if you watched this far, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.